What's up, guys? I'm super excited today to bring you an interview that I had with probably the greatest player playing Path of Exile right now. He got level first 100 in SSF Hardcore in the Mayhem race, followed by 3.1 and 3.2. In 3.2, he died at level 97 and then re-rolled and was able to make it to the first level 100 in solo self-found hardcore in this recent league. He also plays kind of a different build that I think that he kind of designed. Actually, when he won the Mayhem race, I think a lot of people said that this build was only really strong because of the Strongbucks meta or whatever was happening in Mayhem. And then he comes out in 3.1 and smashes everybody, and then also smashes 3.2. So huge thanks to him. He actually doesn't speak English, so my questions were translated, and then he translated his answers, sent it back to me. I'm gonna do the best I can to give you guys the most information possible. The very first question I asked him was talking about his legendary Righteous Fire Occultist build, and it's honestly a pretty difficult build to drive, especially in hardcore. He responded that with the Pantheon and the Occultist passives, it's too easy to counterbalance the negative effect of Righteous Fire, which makes it an incredibly strong build. I asked him about his gear, and specifically what his thoughts were, how important the Shaped Chest energy percent, the energy shield percent on kill was, because this is something that Smoke Monkey was telling me about. This was the most important piece to his entire build. And Aila responds that there's no legendary equipment that makes this run fine. You can use all rares. You just need high chaos resistances, and that the shaped armor is really easy to make. I assume that once you find just the shaped chest, you can just veil it until you get that specific affix. He says with that, once you get that affix, you can run veil maps and undetermined maps, like unID'd maps, safely. And then I asked him, is it a pain to constantly be updating your loot filter? Because if you watch the stream, you can see him pull open his loot filter as he's playing and make single-handed changes. And because he's only playing one build always, he's not, I was talking to Crazy like a couple days ago, and he collected one of everything, literally all of his uniques. But this guy's playing one build, and so he's looking for very, very specific gear. And so he says he only keeps, the important stuff, which took me to my next question. I said, why not get any stash tabs? And he said that stash tabs are very troublesome, which I thought were hilarious. It's like, this guy isn't micromanaging and messing around in town with storing a bunch of crap. He's gonna put stuff that's good away and not deal with all the rest of the crap, which is good. The more time you're in maps killing stuff, the better. That's why he's such a legend. Said that the build all around is great with just rare equipment as long as you have chaos resistance. So he only has to keep, really, really great gear to flip in and out of. And I asked him what his future plans was. I asked him if he was going to win 3.3 hardcore solo self-found. And he said that the GGG nerfing elemental equilibrium might, be a new challenge, which I thought was interesting. One thing about Righteous Fire is it heavily abuses elemental equilibrium that is really, really strong right now. And but we'll see what they do with curses, because GGG also wants to increase curse effectiveness on bosses. So I don't know, this might, after it shakes out on the wash, RF Occultist might still be in a strong spot. And he says just concentrate on moving. He says that this build compared to other builds is really easy. If you think about it, Righteous Fire, you're not actively doing anything. You really are just moving. You're just shield charging. But, I think that he deserves more credit than that. I think that the build in hardcore solo self-found is still difficult to drive. Making it to 100, back to back to back, #1, is still a very impressive feat. And there's definitely more than just, just focus on moving. But that's something that he focuses on, is concentrating on, dodging and, picking up only what's necessary. All right, the last question that I asked was, what was something interesting about his journey to 100? Maybe what's his strategy, what's his tips and tricks? And he said that the first part of the build is very simple. It's just you want high resistance, high life, because he starts life and then switches to ES after he has got the gear. He says just get passes with a lot of life, and he goes on to talk about how he veils his T13s, 14s, and 15s, but he skips the bosses on T14 and 15. Then he goes on to talk about his love for shaped armory, which that's a pretty popular map. I think a lot of people express a lot of love for that. He didn't give me any Atlas strategy or any of that, but you can watch his stream and see more of what he plans to do with his Atlas. All right, so what did we learn? The dude is highly dedicated. You can check out his stream. Please support him in any way that you can. It's been so much fun kind of watching this guy dominate and wreck. Excited to see what happens in the flashback event and in 3.3 to see if anyone can even come close here. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out and checking out my little interview series I was doing. I'm going to be busy playing the flashback race for a little bit, and then I'm going to be super busy playing 3.3 that I'm super excited about. So if you like the video, please hit me with a subscribe. I'm going to be doing some content through my own journey in 3.3. Hope you check it out. Take it easy.